There was a time when effort always came with strain. Even small things carried weight. If I was doing something, there was an undercurrent of pressure, to do it well, to do it correctly, to do it in a way that meant something. Effort felt like proof. If I wasn't trying hard enough, it felt like I was failing quietly. I didn't question that for a long time. It just seemed normal. But lately, effort has been showing up differently. Not absent, just lighter. Things still get done. I still move, respond, decide. But the tension that used to wrap around action isn't there in the same way. I noticed it first in small moments. Answering a message without rehearsing the tone. Starting a task without bracing myself for resistance. Stopping when I was tired without negotiating with guilt. There was no announcement when this changed. No decision to try less. The strain simply stopped attaching itself. Before, effort felt like pushing against something invisible. Even when I wanted to act, there was friction, a sense that I needed to overcome myself to begin. Now action arises more like standing up when sitting becomes uncomfortable. No story, no justification, just movement. I still expend energy. I still get tired. But tiredness doesn't feel like failure anymore. It feels like information. I've realized how much tension came from trying to control outcomes. Not consciously, but subtly through expectation, through anticipation, through fear of misalignment. Even rest had tension in it before. I rested in order to recover, recovered in order to return stronger. Everything pointed forward. Now effort doesn't seem to point anywhere. It's situational. Something needs doing. It gets done. Then it's over. There's no residue. I don't feel compelled to maximize action anymore. If something takes longer, it takes longer. If it doesn't happen at all, life still moves. Effort without tension doesn't feel productive. It feels functional. And that difference changes everything. There's no internal demand to keep momentum alive. No fear that stopping will cause something essential to disappear. Stopping doesn't undo anything. It just stops. I used to think effort required motivation, that without a reason, nothing would move. But motivation was never the engine. It was the whip. Without it, movement still happens, just without the crack of urgency. This doesn't mean I've become passive. It means effort no longer defines me. Action isn't a statement about who I am or where I'm going. It's just the body and mind responding to the moment. Sometimes that response is activity. Sometimes it's stillness. Both feel equally valid. There's a surprising calm in realizing that effort doesn't need to be justified, that it doesn't need to improve me, that it doesn't need to accumulate. I can do something simply because it's there to do. And when it's done, I don't need to extract meaning from it. That extraction was where the tension lived. Effort used to be future-facing. Even small actions carried an invisible promise. Now effort feels contained within the moment itself. It begins. It ends. Nothing is owed afterward. I don't feel lighter because I'm doing less. I feel lighter because nothing is being demanded of the doing. There's no background voice asking if I'm applying myself correctly. No internal supervisor grading performance. The absence of that voice doesn't make life dull. It makes it workable. I notice that when effort loses tension, resistance loses power. There's no longer a battle between wanting and not wanting. If resistance appears, it's just another signal. Sometimes it means pause. Sometimes it passes. I don't have to conquer it. I don't have to override myself to be valid. This changes how I relate to discipline too. Discipline used to feel rigid, like holding myself in place. Now it feels more like rhythm. Some days there's movement. Some days there isn't. Neither requires correction. I used to believe that if effort became easy, it would stop mattering. That struggle was proof of value. But value doesn't come from strain. Strain just makes things louder. Effort without tension is quiet, almost invisible. And because it's invisible, it doesn't demand recognition. I don't feel proud when things get done. I don't feel ashamed when they don't. The emotional charge has drained away. What remains is function. And function doesn't ask to be admired. It just works. This way of moving through life doesn't feel spiritual. It doesn't feel evolved. It feels practical. There's a deep relief in not having to brace myself against my own actions, in not having to motivate, discipline, or pressure myself into living. Life doesn't need force to continue. It already knows how. Effort still appears, but it's no longer a burden I carry. It's just a motion that happens and then releases itself. If this reflection met you where you are, you're already part of this space. You don't need to hold on to it, and you don't need to return. But if you do, these reflections will still be here,